We already have a big collection of Marvel heroes and a lot of videos with these figures, some of our most popular ones. And today we're adding even more to the collection. In today's video we're looking at Tony Stark's luxurious red Infinity Gauntlet. We'll compare it with Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet from a previous build, and we also have a new Tony Stark Mark 85 figure. We'll put it up against our other figures, the best Mark 85, a zombie Mark 50, and another Mark 50 with a flight device. Of course, we'll also compare the gauntlet with the others in our collection. And as a bonus, we've got Spider-Man with absolutely gorgeous golden tentacles. Let's quickly lay out all of today's goodies and get started with the build. First, let's take Iron Man. Right away, you can see that the figure is made quite well. Nice, high-quality printing, no paint blobs, and a pleasant gold color on the legs. However, there are no prints on the sides. That is definitely a downside. Lately, we've gotten used to high-quality prints from all sides, both front and back. There is, by the way, a print on the back itself, but there are also no prints on the back of the legs. Let's take a look and compare it with our benchmark that has the highest score in our ratings. This is the Mark 85, an absolutely fantastic figure. Luxurious plastic, prints on the sides, on the back, and prints on the legs as well. And of course, this figure came with a whole bunch of accessories. Our new one has nothing like that, although at first glance the plastic quality itself could definitely compete. As for one of the highest quality figures we've had in our collection, that would be Zombie Tony Stark. The figure was made extremely well, with absolutely fantastic prints. All the zombie figures looked simply amazing. We had a separate video about zombie and non-zombie Avengers characters. Be sure to check it out. There were many comparisons there, including zombie characters. It's one of the best videos we've ever made, in my opinion. Definitely give it a watch. Now let's talk about another Iron Man figure that we rated quite highly in the past. It was good quality but fairly simple. It didn't have side prints, and there was some plastic overflow on the legs. Our new figure doesn't have these issues. So in many ways, today's figure is actually better than some good, but not top-level figures we've had in our sets before. The arms are very cool. I like them a lot. The printing is done very well, the prints here are definitely high quality. But something went wrong with one hand. The wrist wouldn't fit, and I had to press with a lot of force. As you can see, I ended up breaking the wrist. That's how much force it took. Thankfully, the set included spare wrists. Let's see if the spare one fits. And yes, the spare went in easily and without any issues.
That's fine.
But look here, there's a small defect on the hands, on the fists, a slight plastic overflow. The reference hands don't have any overflow at all. Here I'm showing you some of the best figures in our entire collection, the K-pop Demon Hunters. Absolutely fantastic figures, easily the highest quality we've ever reviewed. I was genuinely surprised they weren't Lego. Their hands and wrists are perfect, with no plastic overflow at all. Here, however, you can see seams. We insert the second arm and the second wrist. It also goes in without any problems. Looks like the first one was defective. It's a small issue. Usually sets include spare wrists, so it's not a big problem. What else does this figure have? Of course, 2 facial expressions, as always. Let's put the additional armor on our Iron Man. He immediately looks more muscular and powerful. The helmet is standard and classic, without any serious issues. Decent plastic, everything fits properly. It doesn't feel premium, more like a solid mid-range figure. Perfectly fine for play. Let's see how the heads look compared to the reference figure. They actually look quite similar. By the way, we have a huge collection of Marvel heroes. Check out the playlist. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. For example, we also had super high quality Deadpool and Wolverine figures, in addition to many large builds and a big number of mech armors. In short, head over to the channel, there's plenty to see. Next, this Iron Man comes with a shield. I'm not a big fan of this simple rectangular shape. It feels a bit too plain. The original shield has a more intricate shape. Overall, the figure is a solid mid-range option. Nothing special, playable, but not really something you'd want to display on a shelf. Look what I found now. There's a clear paint defect on the helmet, a small gold paint overflow. Let's give it a score, 4.3 stars. It's playable, but as a collectible figure, it's not outstanding. There are higher quality ones out there. Moving on with the build, we now switch to Tony Stark's Infinity Gauntlet. I really love the color. I'm not sure if the camera captures it properly, but in real life it looks luxurious. Shiny metallic finish, deep red color, very high quality. Let's quickly assemble the stand for the gauntlet. It's simple and easy to build. The assembly process is very basic and doesn't require much attention. The Infinity Stones, however, come in small frames. When I first saw them, I thought we would need to carve and refine them, just like we did with Dummy 13. That build required a lot of extra work. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But thankfully, here you only need to take one Infinity Stone out of each holder, and there's not much work involved. Still, I would recommend lightly sanding them with a nail file, since you can see a bit of leftover plastic. Overall, once assembled, the gauntlet looks really great. Let's compare it with Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet from the Mech Armor, which we featured in a separate video. A link will appear now. Thanos' gauntlet is much simpler. However, take a look, the stones actually seem to be made better, while the fist itself is simpler. Also notice this, Thanos' gauntlet is on the left hand, while Tony Stark's gauntlet is on the right. Good that manufacturers paid attention to these details. This is what I mentioned earlier. Thanos' Infinity Stones were already finished and had no plastic overflow. Here you can see some small burrs that should ideally be sanded down. Still, the new gauntlet looks much better overall, and the paint job is absolutely fantastic. The second mech armor also has the gauntlet on the left hand. Anyway, it has a completely different gauntlet construction, so comparing them directly is quite difficult. The gauntlet slightly outweighs the stand and tilts it to one side, but that's not a big issue. This is more of a display piece than a toy for active play. I'd confidently give it 4.5 stars, especially if you slightly refine the Infinity Stones. Now let's move on to our bonus figure, Spider-Man. Right away you can see a very nice print all over the body. The light grey color looks stylish and clean, thin and pleasant. The red print, on the other hand, feels too thick and heavy. And here I notice a serious issue. Look at the eye. It's not painted. That's a major defect. There should be two symmetrical white eyes. Let's check how this looks on the product page. Yes, this is clearly not a design choice, but an obvious factory defect. You could try to fix it with paint, but we won't be doing that now. What truly stands out on this figure, though, are the golden tentacles. Very high quality plastic, excellent paint, and an absolutely gorgeous color. It's honestly surprising that such an overall good figure with an interesting print and luxurious golden tentacles ended up having such a serious defect on the head. I really wanted to give this figure 4.5 stars, but because of this eye issue, it's hard to even give it a 4. The head is one of the most important parts of a minifigure. In the end, I'm giving it 3.8, knowing that without this defect, it would easily deserve a 4.5. Alright, let's quickly take a look at today's figures and the new additions to our collection. Which one did you like the most? Let me know in the comments, hit the like button, support the channel, it really helps. And that brings this video to an end. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks everyone and see you next time. Bye.